for problem 4b, again, we're differentiating a function. This time, again, like in problem or in part A of this, there's a simpler way to do this than how the problem is presented. So it's presented to you as a product between two terms, but if you did product rule here, this would get kind of complicated especially because the second term has two different functions of x kind of in it. So what we're going to do instead of doing product rule is we're just going to FOIL this out, because this is two binomials multiplied times each other. We can just use FOIL. And then we'll just do it term by term. So again, these two problems in problem 4 are just examples of how by manipulating your algebra, you can make your derivative problems a lot easier. So let's just FOIL this out and see what we get. So when we FOIL this, the first term would be 3x squared times x squared. So we would get, let me write g of x equals, we would get 3x to the 4th for the first term. For the outside, we get 3x squared times negative 1 over x. So that would cancel out one of our x's, and we'd get minus 3x. Our inside terms, we get negative 1 times x squared, so we get minus x squared. And then our last terms, we get negative 1 times negative 1 over x, which would be plus 1 over x. So this is our FOILed version of what we have above right here. And now this is just 4 separate terms that we can take the derivative of. So now let's do our derivative step. G prime of x. So we're just going to take the derivative of each piece. And remember here we're just using our power rule. So here, derivative of 3x to the 4th would be 12x cubed. We'd get minus 3 minus 2x. Derivative of 1 over x, remember 1 over x is like x to the negative 1. So think of it like that, and we would get negative 1 over x squared, because we would get negative x to the negative 2. And you most likely on a test you could leave your answer just like that. If you wanted to combine this into one fraction though, this has a denominator of x squared, so we just need to make everything else have a denominator of x squared. And we would get that numerator by just multiplying through by x squared here. In that case, we would get 12x to the 5th. I'll write these in power order. So this one would come next with minus 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 1. So either this form that's underlined or this form would be acceptable answers for that. Those are the same thing, whether it's in one fraction or not. But again, the idea here is don't necessarily just do product rule because it's given to you as a product. It's possible that just doing some basic algebra will make your derivatives a lot easier.
The Teaching Center, UF's Learning Resource Center.